First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakak Radash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great Millstone that have taught me this truth, and to include the elder bishops on down, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Brakatham, to the overall elect, and it's your brother Laban. And I just want to speak on this over here. And I watched the video just briefly, at the camp, and I'm quite confident the elder Yashawamba spoke about this. And hey, I gotta talk about this, man. This is very well a part of the prophecy that we always speak about, which is there and there to it anyway. And DJ Trump, as this reads, it says that he signs an executive order to replace paper checks with electronic payments across Treasury. And this is, of course, this is going to sway the world closer and closer to the digital world, which is where they want it to be. And so that they can get their new order finalized in the way that we expect them to, because prophecy says so. Now, what I want to do is I want to talk about this on a brief, because what he did was he, as this reads, he banned the creation of a digital dollar, right, to protect Americans. And this is when he just got right into office. But recently, this is what he signs. He signs this executive order, And why do I bring this up? Because, see, Trump is previously, all presidents have done this, and even to include even down there in the UK, prime ministers, they all do this. These politicians, they speak a good game, and but when they get in office, they go contrary to the things that they say they're gonna do, and it's just really people pleasing, just so that people can get engaged with their president or their prime minister, and therefore people trust government. So when people trust government, now the government can do what it should do according to the edict which was given on high, whom they really serve, which is the bankers and the people that have really put a lot of money in their pockets to fulfill their agenda, all right, and get people behind their agenda as well. Now, speaking of that, Donald Trump, not only did he just speak a good game, but he's went through a couple of things, which was nothing more than an act. He went through this court case, and then he overcame that court case, and then eventually he was giving a speech in the public area, and he got shot in the air. And all of this was done just so that they could turn this individual into that of an hero for the American people. All right. And then they've even announced as well that he's equivalent to the second coming of Christ to redeem America, some to that equivalent. Right. So that was all done by design. That was all a psychological operation, just so that the public can get behind him. And now that he's in the place that he needs to be in, now he can basically get the ball rolling with the bankers, because the bankers, they have a different agenda. And people like Elon Musk, which has put a lot of money in his pocket, all right, to include. And just by the fact that he has him as his advisor, that very well tells you what could very well happen in his tenure. So let's get into this. And this is why he signed the executive order to replace paper checks with electronic payments. As this reads on the article, the head title of the article, across Treasury. So this reads, President Trump has ordered the Treasury to stop using paper checks for federal payments. By September 30th, all disbursements and receipts will move to electronic methods. The order also centralizes payments processing under the Treasury and introduces a public awareness campaign. In a sweeping move to modernize the federal government's payment infrastructure, President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Tuesday mandating a government-wide shift from paper-based payments to electronic alternatives. The change, which takes effect on the 30th of September, will impact all federal disbursements and receipts from tax refunds to vendor payments, pushing them onto digital rails, such as direct deposit, debit cards, digital wallets, and real-time transfers. So just to bring it back over here, because I want to say a couple of things that I forgot to say. And what I want to say is this, right, is the fact that he signed this in, again, to make it look like that he's against basically the establishment. So then that way people can get behind him again. So he's basically playing good cop, you know, because you got a reasonable amount of people that's against the idea of privacy being taken away. People are against, you know, the idea of, you know, freedom of speech being prohibited. People are for their rights and for their freedoms, especially the American people, you know. So what he's posing as is that he's for democracy and he's for all that which is American. But in all reality, he's not for all that which is American. He's all for the establishment, which have put him in place in the first place to do their bidding. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to read, okay, let's go and get this over here. Psalms 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Absolutely. And DJ Trump, he mentioned a while back ago that he loves Hispanics. But yet, there's this article that I have on deck, which by the 1st of this year, on the month of April, 350,000 Venezuelans are going to be sent right back to where they came from. And then even that prior, Hispanics have been sent back to their country by the boatload, by the tens of thousands as well. You know, I can't quite recall how much, but, you know, I remember reading something to the equivalent of how 30,000 people were sent back. I want to see if I can find that. But if I can't find it, then I'm going to just say the tens of thousands of people were sent. You know, so this man here, what he does is he speaks a good game. This is just typical of an Edomite. And these Edomites want to get their way with certain things. What they do is they sweeten you up to get you to like them and all that, just so that they can go right behind your back and do injustice to you, man. You know, and even what you can do is you can even read the book of First Maccabees 1, I think from verse 40 to onwards, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right. Psalms 55 verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, and his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So you don't want the devil telling you that he loves you, because the quiet contrary is going to come. And you could best believe that. All right. So anyway, what I want to do is I want to go back and read a little bit more of this article to see what we can extract from this. Why the push? Why the push to go digital? According to Treasury Department, over 98% of government payments already go out electronically, but stubborn pockets of paper-based disbursements, particularly checks, still persist across certain agencies and demographics. Trump's executive order aims to close those gaps permanently. The rationale is simple. Paper-based systems are slow, expensive, and prone to fraud. Data from the Financial Crime Enforcement Network shows that mail theft-related checks fraud alone topped $688 million just 6 months last year. And that's just an excuse to bring in this digital setting, to bring in the mark of the beast setting. Let me better yet put it that way instead, because that's really what it's all about. It's all about the mark of the beast prophecy falling into fruition. You know, this is Esau's last card that they got. And so what they want is they want to put people under hardcore slavery in a technocratical sense. And very well more so, they want to be gods over the planet Earth, while people have chips inside of them, whether in their arm or whether they're in their brain. And that's what all of this is all about. You see the elite, as well as we on the right-hand side, we can see what the elite on the left-hand side, the rulers of this world, are doing very clearly. See, people don't understand. People kind of know what's going on to a degree, but they don't fully understand 100% what's really going on. Because really what's going on is that prophecy is playing out. All right. And we're seeing the devices of the wicked. But again, the devices of the wicked doesn't trump above the devices of the Lord. You see, the Lord is what seals the instructions in the minds of men to fulfill. So whatever these devils are doing, they're doing it because the Lord got them doing it. You know, the Lord gave them the knowledge to do what they're doing. All right. And we can clearly see what's really going on with this. Yeah, so now I want to read this over here. This is the fourth usage over here from the word plot. A secret plan for accomplishing a usually evil or an unlawful end. Oh, absolutely. All right. So these devils are plotting on the poor. And who are the poor in this case? The poor is our people, because we're the poorest people economically. So Herod is this devil done did us wrong enough, but he wants to continue to do us more harm. All right, because it's just in him to continue in wrongdoing. He can't help himself, especially against the people who he loves to hate. And this New World Order is going to express that. All right, but speaking of this New World Order, though, it's not going to get so far as they want to believe. The Lord is going to upset his setup. And before you know it, this devil is coming down greatly. All right, when Yahweh Shai gets back here, and he's going to set up the real New World Order. Psalms chapter 10. Psalms chapter 10, verse 1 to verse, let me see what I can do. Verse 9, from 1 to verse 9. Why standest thou far off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in time of trouble? If the wicked in his pride do persecute the poor, let them be taken in the devices that he have imagined. For the wicked boast of his heart's desire, and bless the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. Yeah, they boast that they can fulfill this New World Order system in a technocratic sense. You know, get people to be under the digital ID setting, and therefore do that. They can gather all manner of people's data, and as well as this fruitcake Harari, he said that you know, the people that will hold the most data will be the most powerful people. Something to that equivalent. All right. I'm going off of how he said it. And that they're going to be able to do other things to try to supersede nature of how things are going already. So as this reads, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. God is not in all his thoughts. Oh, absolutely. As it is written in the book of Proverbs 16 and 4, that the Lord have created all things for himself, yea, even the wicked, for the day of evil. So, of course, this devil ain't going to have no thoughts of the Most High. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. And he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Yeah, these devils, they think that they're going to continue on forever. They think that they're just too big to fall. But guess what? Who put them in the position of power? We know this very well. It's the Lord that put him in the position of power. As it is written, that the living may know the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and he give it to whomsoever he will. All right. It is the Most High that ruleth in the kingdom of men. Okay. Verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue, mischief and vanity. So this is what will be if you trust in this man. If you trust in this devil, he's going to take you on the highway to hell. All right. He's going to deceive you to follow after him with all of these $1 million words like they like to speak out of their mouths. And you're going to extol it to the heavens because you're simple. The scripture says the simple believe every word. And as well as it's written in the Apocrypha, that when the rich man speaketh, the people extol it to the heavens. Right? So even though people have been let down so many times by their politicians, people are still getting behind their government because, again, people are wooed by wealthy people at the very top. So if someone wealthy is speaking, even though they've been let down, they're still going to basically take their words into consideration and get effed over again. All right. Now, once again, Donald Trump, he said he said that he loves Hispanics, right? Just to go back on this again, but look what he's doing to the Venezuelan people. Look at this. Just to bring this back once again as well. Venezuelans in the U.S. called Trump's move to end deportation protection a betrayal. Trump's orders revoking TPS status for almost 350,000 Venezuelans in 60 days would be suicidal for some if they're sent back. Others would be jailed, and activists said. The Trump administration's latest immigration shakeup has sent tremors through the Venezuelan community as some face a possible return to a country whose regime has been dubbed illegal by the U.S. The Trump administration revoked temporary protected status for almost 350,000 Venezuelans who are in the U.S. Also, the protection will end in 60 days instead of October. Those affected will no longer have temporary protection from deportation or work permits that TPS allows. Venezuelan activist Beatriz Oliveira said that for some, returning would be almost suicidal. Many Venezuelans have fled amid brutal crackdowns on protests against the government and struggles for basic goods such as food and medicine. Some of those people that are here that have spoken about situations in Venezuela on camera and everywhere, they set foot in Venezuela and they will be jailed, Oliveira told NBC6 South Florida. And he don't give two shits about the Venezuelan people. He don't care. This is the same man that wants to build a Mar-a-Lago in Gaza and before that, get them people kicked out of there, man. Some of them can move to Syria, he said. Some of them can move to Egypt and other places. So do you really think that he cares about these Venezuelans, what he's doing to them, and what consequences they're going to face if they go back home? He don't give a shit. But you see, this is what happens when you trust in man. Jeremiah 17 and what? Where we at? Verse 5. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arms, whose heart departed from the Lord. And so they deserve to receive the curses which comes after trusting in man. Because you shouldn't trust in the man. You should trust in Yahweh B'Shem Shai. And our people especially, which the Hispanics so-called are part of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. So it's in their duty, as it is written, that the whole duty of man is to keep the commandments, especially the Israelites. So when you go putting your trust in another man, especially that of another nation that don't give two shits about your people, and history shows this, that the so-called white man don't really care about y'all, right? And so-called black people, and you want to trust in this man once again, as I'm going to say, right? Then guess what? You're going to suffer the consequences of trusting this man. And he's going to take you to the highway to hell. All right? He's going to have you on the highway to hell, and you're going to end up in hell, man. All right? And a lot of these people are going to take that mark, and guess what? This devil is still going to bring harm on them, man. And as a matter of fact, the Lord is going to bring the absolute harm upon them to the point of a great deal of destruction. Okay? So the guy that you want to be, or the group of people you want to be like, are the men of the Lord that trust in the Lord. Jeremiah 17 and verse 7. Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, whose hope the Lord is. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, and that spreadeth out her roots by the rivers, and shall not see when he cometh, but her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. Yeah, so good will come to those that will trust in the Lord. Good will come to those eventually that have put their trust in the Lord. Okay, because the power on high is the power of good. Yes, he's the power of good and evil, but ultimately he's the power of good. All right. So yeah, we're gonna struggle, but if we continue to engage our energy towards the Lord, then all will be well at the very end. Okay, unlike these people, they're doing well now, putting their trust in their government, but it's going to end really bad for them at the end. And that's pretty much all I have to say with this, man. I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmiel Shai Bashim Rakak Radash. And double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth, to include the elder bishops on down, and Yahweh Bashmiel Shai Brakathum to the elect overall, whom is 144,000, and as well as the 1/3 that do follow. All right. Shalom.